Gen Z believes that they will retire at 60 years of age. This is on average. According to a new survey from Northwestern Mutual, but 2 in 5 of Gen Z also expect to live to 100. Boy, this is a very positive group of kids. Can I just say, I think it's a great run if you live to 100. But have you ever met anybody in their 90s? It's sweet. I will tell you that my grandmother and my great-grandmother both lived to be 195, 196. My wife's great-grandmother's 93 right now. And it comes with its challenges. So I hope health improves dramatically, because making it to 100, folks, I don't know if I want to. All right? I'm just putting that out there. I hope that doesn't offend anybody, just being honest. But let's focus on their expectations that they will retire at the age of 60. What the experts are saying, they're wringing their hands a little bit, but then I'm going to give some reality to this. The average Gen Zer has saved $35,800 for retirement. Almost 2/3 of Gen Z expect to be financially prepared for retirement, but only 52% of unretired baby boomers, 45% of Gen X, that's my generation, and 54% of millennials were as optimistic. Now, let's just call this what this is. To some degree, the younger you are, the more optimistic you are, because you don't know what you don't know, and that's a beautiful thing. But now here's a positive. Gen Z is not counting on Social Security. Fantastic. Because I wouldn't count on Social Security. In fact, as a Gen X, I'm not counting on Social Security. But what is making experts wring their hands is the total amount that Gen Z thinks they need to save to then be able to retire at 60. And that number is $1.2 million. Now, there is a problem there, because I think if you retire at 60 with $1.2 million, and we're talking about 30, 40 years from now, that's not going to go very far. If you just look at today's current costs, $1.2 million on an average life expectancy of mid to high 70s, it could be tight. Just for comparison's sake. Americans in their 30s estimated they needed $1.44 million for retirement, while those in their 50s forecast $1.56 million. You can survive, but I'm not sure that you're thriving on $1.2 million. Again, I'm looking forward with inflation. Just not crazy inflation, just natural inflation. If you look over the next 30, 40 years, you go into the future, how far will $1.2 million stretch? Now, again, the experts get all. I'm going to come back, and I think there's some real positive stuff here. A recent analysis found that half of the 35 million people with traditional Medicare spend at least 16% of their income on out-of-pocket healthcare costs. So annually, that's an average of $6,600 on insurance premiums and medical services, and that doesn't include long-term care, which can be very expensive. So again, that's where the $1.2 million, 30, 40 years from now, I think it's a little too tight. I'd like to see more there. So if someone wanted to live off of $4,000 a month after taxes, okay, taking into account 3% inflation and a return on investment retired funds of 6%, that's a little low, they would need somewhat closer to $4 million. So do we need to be saying, oh, Gen Z, you guys, you're so unrealistic? Maybe a little bit, but let me just say this. If Gen Z is investing right out of the gate, and they're investing in their early 20s and they stay with it and they don't accumulate debt, then they're going to be well past the $1.2 million. Those are just the numbers. If you're investing over a 30, 40-year period, and that compound interest is unbelievable. So, while these young people may expect to live to 100 and walk away from work at 60, it's all possible. But you got to be disciplined and invest over the long haul and never quit.